Hey everyone, it's Jared here from Drumeo, and today I'm going to teach you how to tune your drums. Now this is something that when I first started playing, no one taught me. So it's something that I just learned over time by taking off my drum heads, tuning them up, getting new drum heads, tuning them up, and just really trying different things. And so that's kind of what I'm going to say to preface this video. Yes, you're going to learn a lot of tips here, but there's nothing better than you just getting in your practice space and taking off the heads and trying different things. So why do you want to tune your drums? Well, you want to remove unwanted overtones. Maybe you're playing a certain style of music that requires a different tension on the drums. Maybe you're in a recording studio and a producer has asked you to get a slightly different sound. And so there's many, many different reasons, but it's such an important skill to have. So all these drums are tuned up and sound great. Let's give them a listen. A little bit of In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. So these drums all sound fantastic, but I want to show you how they sound from nothing, from completely detensioned. So I'm going to start by detensioning all of the batter heads. Okay, so we're going to get the drill out and we're going to speed up the video and take these drums down a notch. Okay, so now the drums are all detensioned, and I use a drill, and I've done that many, many times. What you want to make sure of if you use a drill is on the high tension drums, don't completely detension one lug only, but go slowly around the entire snare or do it in a cross pattern. Okay, on the toms, they're tuned relatively low right now anyway, so it's not as big of a deal. But let's hear how they sound. Okay, so we're going to start with the toms. I'm actually going to get to the bass drum, but that's going to be at the end of the video. I'm going to show you exactly how I do that because we have to kind of tear everything apart. So with the toms, we get them all nice and loose, and we're going to start by finger tightening each lug. Finger tightening just basically means let that tension rod touch the edge of the rim. Okay. All the way around. And this will work on any kit. So I know I'm using a higher end Yamaha recording custom kit that they're built for the recording studio, and they sound, it's almost hard to get them to sound bad, but it's still really important to get them in tune. Okay, there you go there. Floor tom. Some of the lugs are a little bit tight. You might have to use a drum key just to make it so it touches the rim. So once I've got everything finger tightened, if you're putting on new heads, what you want to do is you want to press down on the center of the drum head with your hand. I'm not going to do it here super hard because it's still in the mount. I would put it on the floor, take my palm, push down in the center of the head just to kind of stretch it out. I do that on each drum. These heads have already been put on, they're already stretched out, and they sound great. Okay, once you've done that, you want to just make sure everything's finger tightened again, because as you stretch the head, you'll find that some things do kind of come loose a little bit. So even these, just with a little bit I did, they've kind of settled more. And then you want to bring up the tension using the cross pattern. So on the 10-inch, we're going to start here. We're going to bring up the tension, let's say one full turn up here. We'll go this way, one full turn, one full turn, one full turn, and another full turn. I can't tell you what your desired tension is or how you like your drums to sound, right? I can only tell you how to get them up to tension evenly. So let's hear how it sounds. A little bit flat, right? So here, I'm just going to bring it up again, another quarter turn each, cross pattern. If you're looking for a tool to to help get it up to tension, you can use things like the drum dial. That's what we have here. It's something we can use to get a nice consistent sound every single time. For me personally, I just do it by ear every single time, and I do it by feel. I brought that up, basically 1/2 turn and then another 1/4 turn. And here we go, let's hear how it sounds. Right, so you get that attack and this is what I'm looking for. And I sound a little bit ridiculous when I say that. Now let me tell you what I do with the resonant head. So this drum sounded pretty good when I tightened it up. Now let's listen to the resonant head. Pretty much the exact same pitch. If anything, I prefer my resonant head slightly lower in pitch to the batter side. But again, this balance is something that you're going to have to figure out what works. And it is similar on these higher toms, but it might change more when it gets to the floor tom. So again, sing that note. Ba, 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 ba. It's slightly lower than the batter head. And this is what gives me that nice tone. Now, one thing I didn't do here, one thing you didn't see me do, is making sure everything is even in tone or tension. And I bet you, if I just tap around, I bet you it's pretty dang close. It's pretty close. This one was a tiny bit higher, but if you listen, just use your ears, it sounds good, okay? Something can sound great and be slightly out of tension. Okay, I know the internet is just going crazy now, but it is possible. Okay, it does not have to be perfectly tensioned or pitch matched in order for it to sound good. I've played many gigs where I'll detune one lug on my snare drum, and it just sounds a little bit better then. So just use your ears, follow your ears, and that's where you'll get the best sound. Okay, let's do the 12-inch tom. So we're gonna do probably 1 turn, cross pattern, and this is a little bit of feel, because if something has been finger tightened, and if I tighten this one, it's naturally going to make this one get a little bit loose, right? And that's just the way it is. So you have to do a little bit of feel to make sure that you're keeping up with the tension as the hoop goes down and starts to stretch that drum head. So I've done around 1 turn on each one. We're getting a little bit of tone. Okay, let's do a 1/2 turn now. So with 1 turn and a 1/2 turn, it sounds pretty good. Now, a lot of you are sitting at your pianos and you're trying to make sure that the notes are evenly spaced, like a 3rd or a 5th or a 4th. I've heard many, many different opinions on how these should be tuned. For me personally, I tune it with how I want it to sound in my head. I have an idea in my head of how I want it to sound, and you could sing it. Do, 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 do. This is what's going on up here, guys and gals, so it is what it is. So here, if I'm listening, to me, it sounds almost perfect. What I would do is bring this up like a 1/10, because it's just a little bit too low for me. Boom. Okay, that bottom head. Almost the exact same pitch. If anything, it's slightly lower. Okay, so listen again. Boom, sounds great. Finally, we're going to get to this floor tom. Now, floor tom, depending on the music I'm playing, I'll either like it almost flappy and low, which is something I learned from Benny Greb, because that's how he tunes his floor tom, or I'll tune it up a little higher to get a little bit more response off of that drum and a little bit more tone. But a lot of people actually will tune their floor tom. It almost sounds like a bass drum, more like a thud as opposed to like a doom. But if we go back to the doom, 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 right? Doom, doom, doom. Less tone and ring. So what we're gonna do is, since it's already finger tightened, we're just gonna turn it once. We're gonna do the cross pattern again. I'm telling you, everyone watching, regardless of your drum heads you have, if you have a crappy drum set that doesn't sound very good, and you haven't put on new heads, if you just go through this exercise, you'd be amazed at how much better your drums are sounding. Okay, so we basically did a half turn there. We're gonna hear how it sounds. Do, 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 do. Right? We're gonna up a little bit more, in my opinion. I'm gonna do a quarter turn there. Bottom, actually tuned slightly higher than the top head. Now, I might work on this a little bit more. I might go around and make sure everything is correct. This one actually feels a little bit loose, right there. This one feels a tiny bit loose. Okay, so next we're gonna tune the snare drum. I've got everything finger tightened here. Now it's just, again, we're gonna bring it up to tension. Let's do one turn, the cross pattern. And I know everyone has their own methods, and some of you will argue with me and say I'm doing it wrong, but I would say, listen, use your ears, follow your ears. How does it sound? Okay. There isn't necessarily a wrong way to tune your drums unless you're doing it in a way which could break them. I've never broken anything when tuning my drums. Nothing. So I'm happy. Okay, and I like to bring up the snare nice and tight right away. Sounds really good. Personally, I like it tighter. And then you can basically do the pitch test once you kind of got it in the range that you're looking for. Now, talking about the resonant head on the snare drum. The way I have this one tuned is basically tabletop tight. So again, if you want to make sure your resonant head is tuned correctly, or to a way that works for you, what you do is just detune it, just like we did the top head, bring it back up to tension, doing the star pattern, and nice and tight. This is the most important thing for me in getting a really responsive snare drum sound and making sure that you really hear the wires, but you do not want too much wire sound. So that is how to tune the toms and the snare drum. Let's hear how they sound. So I will say, heads make such a huge difference. So if you're looking for a head that's more controlled, you need to get a thicker head. So that could be like an Evans EC2, it could be an Evans G2 coated, it could be a Remo pinstripe, it could be something with a little bit more control, like a Remo Emperor, something that's 2-ply. If you're looking for something really, really responsive with more ring, go with a 1-ply drum head. My head of choice is either the Evans G2 coated for the toms, or the Evans UV1 They sound quite different. Or the Evans Genera HD Dry on the snare, which is what is on here, or an Evans UV1 on the snare drum, which is a much more responsive, much more ring. It kind of makes the drum a little bit crazy, which I love, okay? Nothing like a crazy drum. So next thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna rip everything away and I'm gonna show you how I tune the bass drum. Okay, so we've got all the drum set stuff stripped away, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna detension the batter side of this drum. Now it's actually quite loose already, so start from this point. If it's a new head, you can go ahead and just stretch it a little bit. You don't have to do too much. And then bring everything up to finger tighten, as tight as you can go with your fingers. Now, if you're looking for a tone out of the drum, if you're playing jazz or something, you could get a mallet and actually pitch match each section. But here, I'm basically going to be bringing things up to tension as I did on the snare drum, but a much lower tension because it is the bass drum. And we're not looking for as much of a tone as we are looking for a certain amount of attack. Okay, that's pretty much it. If I rub my hand around the edge of the drum, you'll notice there's no wrinkles here. And this is an Evans EQ3 batter head, which I like. It has some internal control rings. It sounds really, really great. Lots of attack, a little bit of tone, but not too much. Okay, so that's what I do on the batter side. Now, when it comes to muffling, I kind of generally, someone else has used this kit since the last time I played it, but it's a similar muffling system. This is like a Remo system. I just use basic beach towels. I just set them in there, and it works for me. The other side, whether or not you have a hole in there will determine how much resonance the drum actually provides. It will also determine the action off the drum head, because this lets a lot of air escape every time you hit that your beater onto the batter head. And so you'll notice that the action off of the head is different with no hole. So I much prefer a resonant head with a hole in it. What I do here is the exact same thing is the other side, okay? Now I don't need to go through it and show you, it's a bit of a waste of your time. But if you want to check your heads when it comes to like the tone, because it's kind of hard, you can just do it by feel. So feel this one and feel this one, and they're quite similar. Okay? All I'm seeing here is a tiny wrinkle when I push in, so I just want to bring that up to tension a little bit. And that is how I tune my toms, my snare, and my bass drum. Like I said at the beginning of the video, it's very much a personal preference, and I learned this by trying things over and over again, by getting some new heads, not liking the sound, detune them, tune them up again. Detune them, tune them up again. Do this 10, 20 times. Figure out I don't like that head sound, so I'm gonna go get a different kind of head. And over the years, I've been playing for more than 20 years now, I've kind of figured out a system to do it. It doesn't require a lot of guesswork. It's not that hard. I don't really struggle with tuning at all anymore. And it's something that you can easily learn to. It's just more by putting in the work and trying different things. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you got a lot out of it. And like I said at the beginning, everyone has their own methods. I've been playing drums for 20 years, and when I tune up drums now, I don't even really think about it. It's just something that I do quickly, and it's done. So what I'd like you to tell me in the comments below is, how do you tune your drums? Do you use the star pattern like I did? Do you detension and then bring things up to tension until they're at the perfect sound? But how do you do it? I know everyone has their own methods, and I think we can all learn a lot from each other. So if you have something to share, please share it. If you don't have anything to share, just say hello. Come on, just get in those comments below. I read every single one of them, and I'd love to hear what you had to say. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.